Hi friends, welcome to Cat channel. Today we discuss regarding the different types of plywood and we discuss regarding the all things about plywood. First, uh, before you go to buy a plywood for your work, just see this video so that you will know more things about plywood. There are three types of plywood. That is, one is MR, that is moisture resistant plywood. Second is BWR, boiling water resistant plywood, and third is BWP plywood, that is boiling water proof plywood. So these three types are common. The first thing, the MR. MR is actually commercial plywood, but the quality is inferior. That is, it is not that much resistant to water, and the works with which we can do with the MR should be in a place where there is no connection with water will happen in future or at present too. That means the moisture should be very less in such a place. We can do some kind of small interior works not in kitchen, somewhere maybe in bedrooms, like that we can do, but not I will recommend don't do any work with that, because if we do that it will last only maybe for 4 or 5 years. After that we have to replace, because the quality is very bad. Even if it is not that much resistant to moisture, that also is a problem. Again, the quality is very less, and this is also called ISI 301. The second one is boiling water resistant. This is more superior than MR or moisture resistant plywood. If it has got its own resistance to water to a certain level, so we can use it for kitchen cabinet work or cupboard work. It's not a big issue, but still, if it is under the sink or is nearer to the sink, don't go for BWR also. For that we have to go for BWP, that is boiling water proof. We can also use BWP in such areas, but recommend that go for BWP. That is also called marine plywood, BWP. And BWP comes in ISI 710, and this MR and BWR comes in ISI 303. Okay, that is the ISI certification. So now regarding the ISI certification, how to know the quality of a plywood when we are going to buy the plywood in a shop? First we have to see the ISI certification, what kind of ISI certification it has got. ISI 303 or 710, like I said, 710 is BWP, that is better, that is the best one, and BWR 303 is better, and MR or moisture resistant is the inferior type. And there are some shops where we can get the same ISI certified plywood for a lesser price. Means the same plywood which we can buy from another shop will be of a higher rate. And how it happens is that there are fake plywoods with the fake ISI certification mark. So how can we test the ISI certification? There is a way for that. We know there is a website for the Bureau of Standards. Go for the for that website, and of course there is, along with the ISI certification, there is a CML number. CML number is a 7-digit number. So you have to check, you have to see that CML number, and then put that CML number into the Bureau of Standards. So once you put the number into the Bureau of Standards, you will get the manufacturer details, the whole things about the manufacturer. If you don't get the manufacturer details, that means that plywood is a fake plywood. That is one thing. The second one is, when you see a plywood, you have to ask the seller to know the thickness. Of course they are telling that it is 18, for example it is 18 mm plywood, but don't believe that. You have to ask the seller to measure it with a vernier caliper. Vernier caliper is an instrument to measure the thickness of all these things. So with that you have to measure the thickness of the plywood on all sides, not only in one side. If there is a difference between the thickness of one side with the other is 1 or 2 mm, then don't go for that plywood. That plywood is inferior. That is one thing. Test the thickness of the plywood. Then look into the face of the plywood. If you see some undulations on the face of the plywood, then also don't go for that. That means the sheets, the inner layers of the plywood is not pasted in the correct level, correct position. So if you take that plywood and do the work, then if you are going for any laminate work over it, then that laminate will also look like a undulated part along with the base of the plywood. That is, if the plywood is itself is unrelated, then it will fit on the laminated part also. So don't go for the such plywoods. And other thing is that once you ask the seller to give a small sample of the plywood, take that sample, cut the plywood piece, and then examine the cross section. Cross section will be like this. Plywood is actually consisting of how the plywood is made. Plywood is actually the sandwichment, or actually they are the arrangement of a hardwood, then a softwood, then a hardwood, like that it comes, which is added by some adhesives or some glues, and it is subjected to high pressure and high temperature in a machine, and then it comes like a board. So it is an engineering wood, so we have to look into the quality very much. We have to test the quality first. So once you cut that sample piece, you can see there are layers. How many layers are there usually in this thing? Usually there will be 13 layers of wood. Means when the cross section, this part will be 11 layers only. Okay, 11 layers, 1 2 3 4, you can number it up to 11 layers, it will be there. And this is the face is 12th layer, and the down face is 13 layers. So total comes to 13 layers. So just keep it a point that plywood consists of 13 layers. And in this layer, if we are testing the quality of this plywood, there are two types of things can happen in the layers. One is gapping. Gapping means, see, this layer will go up like this and this go down. There's a gap in between. So this is called gapping. Gapping have another problem also. In this gap, the termites can come and they can live there. So it will affect the strength of the plywood. And another thing is that in the same layers, we can see one layer will be overlapping on the other layer. That also can be possible. So such plywood also have a loss of strength in it. So don't go for such plywoods. And then another thing is that when you see the plywood, just knock on the surface everywhere. So if you hear a metallic sound, then you can be sure that the whole thing is solid, as there is the glue is attached in between the layers in a correct way. And if you hear a void sound, that means the attachment is not that much perfect, and you can reject that plywood. And then another quality problem is regarding the bending or warping. It is called bending or warping. So sometimes due to some moisture content, the plywood will bend like this. It will not be like that much, but there will be bend in the middle part of it. So maybe after you buy it and store it in your home, maybe after 2 or 3 days, this can happen then also. So at that time, what you have to do, you have to reverse this plywood like this, and then sprinkle some water there, and then again reverse it like this and place it there. It will automatically will straighten it up. If you want it to be in a quick way, you have to do the same thing and then put some weight over it, and then it will come to a straight line after some time. So this is how to rectify the warping or bending of a plywood. When we have to order a bulk quantity of plywood from a seller, just try to order a short quantity at first and test it, and if it is okay, then only you order more. And also you have to order it from a very trusted seller. That means the seller is okay with his quality products, then only you have to order it. So these are some of the things regarding the plywood which you need to know before buying or before going for a work. So these are the basic things you need to know. Hope you understand it well. If you like this video, please subscribe, share and like. Thank you very much.